you know, I usually take this thing where I go, yeah, you know, just to really try to just, I think what I'm trying to do, you know, is to create this vacuum, you know, is I ask Inanna to lead me down through the seven gates where, you know, we dispose of all of our persona. And, you know, like at the first gate, you know, Barbara Hanna says that, you know, you every once in a while you have these sudden drops. Well, you know, we're walking down the steps and suddenly there is just no steps. It's just this big drop, you know, so I don't know what to do. So then, you know, I don't know. I just suggested we go around, and that seemed to work. So we went around through the stone wall to the gate, and then so we did that 7 times, and then we came out, and immediately after that, there was, you know, really the best moving and color visions I'd ever seen. There was first, you know, as a showing of my hand with a black cylinder in it, you know, and I asked what that was about, and it had to do with that is your key to come into this place. Now, why I don't know, but then it showed the Anima eating a grape, you know, which sort of was this mystery elixir of, you know, kind of wine, you know, and then she took there was a black bird, and she just reached up to it, and suddenly there was this big flash of light, and then the bird flew off like that. And then the final, you know, so then my little alarm goes off. It's time to go away. And, you know, I just spent a second to say thank you, but suddenly jumping over a rock is this young golden girl with slender ram's horns like this, you know, jumping over the thing. So she was this female Pan figure, you know. So anyway, wow, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, how are you doing? I'll shut up.
I'm okay. I'm just, yeah, I mean, I kind of found myself in a state that I was in previously, that I kind of, you know, I think I got out of, but apparently was not conscious of really what was going on. So I kind of slipped back into this state where I can barely get myself up out of bed in the morning because I just don't even know what the heck I'm going to do with my day. So that just this kind of aimlessness has been kind of taking over.
But yeah, it's a listlessness. There's a disconnection from life. There is some aspect of ourselves that, and it may be tied back to your ISIS visions, that there does not seem to be, there's an aspect of that we're not taking seriously, you know, the gift of awareness, of being born into this world, of having a body, you know, of the rhizome or the root that we were given. And the fact that you want to discuss the Anima dreams, I think, is very a good idea, because she is life, she is nature, she is that aspect of us that both you and me, I think, that we lack, you know. And so anyway, I'm not saying that's the answer, but you know, what really you would call that is your libido is very low. So what libido is psychic energy. See, now on the one side, on the side of the other side, the Andrasita, as you know, this one my Gustav Meyrink wrote this book that Jung really loves called Andrasita. On the other side, it seems very full of energy and full of an a call, a beckoning call. Okay, but on this side, there seems to be a aspect that we are amazed by it, but how do we implement or move towards that now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, and what are the obstacles and the blocks towards doing that, and can we name them, and how um, how are those just obstacles and blocks that cannot be overcome, or it's very difficult to overcome them, or where do we start? This is one of my big problems with me engaging. Like my wife will open up the refrigerator and just start cleaning it, and within 5 minutes she's done. And I told her I would spend that long just staring at it, wondering where to start, but she just jumps in. uh, you know there doesn't seem to be any hesitation about jumping in and doing whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
Now,
I suppose one of my problems is like when I think of, I kind of realize this direction that, I need to go in, or it's just what awakes energy in me. But, I just can't see, like, I'm just like, what on earth is this going to result in? Um, what kind of person is this going to make me? And what am I going to like do? Like, it's all very hazy and abstract. Like, I know the direction to go in,
well,
but
that's yeah.
I kind of I write it off because I'm like, what on earth is it going to result in?
Well, that's typical of an introvert. If an introvert is asked to go to a party or to anything, there's just this hesitation and dread of doing it. And they'll find anything they can do, any excuse they can possibly come up with to avoid it. Okay. Now, how do you overcome that? I mean, the only thing you can overcome there is just to um, to have an aspect of you that is your animal side, your bull side, your minotaur side, this one that just charges forward and just does it. I mean, just the Nike symbol, just do it. You know, and so the extroversion side. Now, see, Jung had all these people that never did, like, for instance, Barbara Hanna and Marie Louise von Franz, these arch introverts. And since they didn't even seem like they were ever going to get married, he said, well, then you two are going to live together and you're going to face what's called the obsidian stone. There's this dream where this bear is polishing the obsidian stone. And what he's polishing is the stone of relationship. I mean, in other words, the friction of living with another person, is smoothing this black stone of wholeness, and so there is that aspect of it, and that might have to do with our extreme introversion, the fact that now here's the other thing, is that I would say that even though you're listless, and what is happening really is this, is you are being transformed by the negative Anima, by the young witch, and what she's doing is she is you have been put to sleep by the poppies of the Elysian fields, you know, by their sleep-inducing aroma, and there is no incentive to leave here because it is so blissful. You know, I mean, I'm fine right here. I mean, there might be a few things I need to do to maintain this status quo that I have to do, and I'll find some way of doing it. But why would I leave this place? So rather than the addiction of alcohol, which my wife and I are, you know, have spent a lot of time, at least I'm just exposed to it. I don't hardly ever, and never have really drank or anything. Like my wife got these marijuana gummies or something in Colorado. And I took one and absolutely has zero effect on me. So I took two, absolutely has zero effect on me. You know, I don't have any effect on it. But then, you know, the other one is either any kind of behavior which simulates the positive transformation of the positive anima, where you know, the very strong ego that has developed through youth and childhood now returns to the center and is the empty vessel of the positive anima. You know, and that's a positive transformation. So that is transforming this very strong ego. It sacrifices itself, and now it is the empty vessel for the ego. The other side, in the negative anima, what she does is she finds some aspect of trance or spell or whatever that is going to blot out the ego and put it in the state of the other world without any work, you know. And then there is this aspect of why should we, what possible motivation would there be to leave this area, especially when it's a mild type of a thing. You know, in the case of alcohol, you know, it can get so stark that you start into this lying and deception. You lose all your friends, you lose your family, and you're pretty near dying, you know, and you hit rock bottom. And this is where the temple of wisdom is built. But I think sometimes if it's a milder sedative, you know, that there's no reason for us to leave, we don't ever hit that rock bottom, you know. Now, what might get us to the rock bottom is age. You know, as we get older and older, the sense of our alienation from remember what young this friend Peter Baines says, the difference between the shaman and the saint is anima relatedness. You know, where the saint, the one who's overcome the unconscious, excludes the anima, and that's the only way he can reach his isolated absolutism. Whereas the shaman uses anima relatedness to accomplish whatever his goals are. So he's more Pan-like, more Dionysian, where the saint is more Apollonian, you know, more solar. So anyway, the idea here is, and Jung says, yes, that's true, but what you're really talking about is relatedness, not to the anima, but to nature, because the anima is nature. So she's the body, she's the life force within us, you know, that remember in the Emerald Tablets, you know, when Hermes Trismegistus, you know, goes up to the top of the seventh heaven, achieves albedo, whiteness, and he says, no, this is not the final. His strength is perfected when he returns to the earth, to nature. And that's really something that people ignore about the Buddha. You know, there is this aspect of the Buddha where you see him touching the earth. And that was the third temptation, where he is supposed to serve society and sit in this, in his dharma, you know. And he says, no, and he touches the earth, and this is called bhumispasha, and he lets the earth be his witness, or nature be his witness, that he is not a creature of society, which is absolutely, a recent development, that started with settlements and with agriculture and animal husbandry. Before that, there was no disconnection from nature. We were natural beings, and this that development of settlements and animal husbandry and is the development of the ego and the start of our sickness. But it's also is what nature intended all along. So this is this overcoming nature, and but yet need to return to it. But anyway, why don't we look at some of your? I mean, what comments do you have about that? Any comments?
I don't know. It would take a little bit to unpack, but I think I guess the main thing is like if I want my feelings of isolation and loneliness to end, I have to like actually face life, which I don't like doing, and I have to try to get along with people that I don't really have an easy time getting along with and stuff, and
Adaptation.
Yeah, I'm really not good at adapting.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, and that is you just have probably identified the main obstacle to this occurring. I mean, you just pretty much summarized it.
Yeah,
and it seems like one that not only is one that not only are we unable to overcome it, but there's no reason to. Now the only thing that's going to force us to do that is where for the extrovert or something, a deep depression usually is the only thing that gets them to turn inward. I mean, your status right now is somewhat in limbo. It's neither turned inward or outward. So you're sort of trapped in in this this realm where you're not engaging with that say genuinely and sincerely and as a heroic act with the inner world or the outer world. Yet there seems to be a very strong urge within you to find a woman with whom you can relate. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I mean, yesterday, that the only way I ever did that really was to become embodied, to have my feet on the ground, to have a standpoint, on the earth. And once you're on the earth, you can't be isolated, because you're now a creature of the earth. So, and at this point, your progeny and your anima are not these undeveloped sort of aberrations that came up with the 3-year-old and the sort of the plastic infant. you know. I mean, at that point, there would be a more blood flowing type of aspect. But the fact that over and over again, the birth within is emphasized, is those are your spring dreams. So, you know, you have these spring dreams that have to do with the Minotaur. And so this aspect of you that wants to charge forth the Minotaur, your father is the Minotaur, the one that charges into life, just like he's like spring does, you know, this undifferentiated growth that just without giving all these excuses of why it's not going to do it. The little hobgoblins of the ego are going, no, they're going to chain it in the labyrinth and not allow it to escape, you know. So anyway, I would let's just go through these Anima dreams.
Yeah. Well, this one was not this past July, but the July before it. So it was a little while back. But I'm with a group of people, and we somehow get to talking about the electric universe and this organization called Thunderbolts Project, which is like all about reinterpretation of mythology in some regards, and like kind of esoteric stuff, and just, yeah, the electric universe, meaning like everything is governed by electricity and magnetism in nature. And everyone thinks that I'm crazy except for one girl, and she ends up wanting me to explain to her more about Jesus Christ, I think. Either way, she has me follow her through a neighborhood that I am unfamiliar with, but that she knows, so that I can explain more of these theories to her, and that we can find a place to make out.
Okay, and then you find a place to make out. Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Okay.
to kiss and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so you go through her world, and then the object or the goal of the journey is to find a place of relatedness with the Anima. You know, when one where I mean, the idea is a intimate relatedness that involves touching, involves the eyes meeting, and embracing. You know, I mean, this is the idea of the relatedness with that aspect of us which we lack. You know, so the feminine within. You know, and of course, what we're really what we're really embracing, and what we're really looking into with our eyes, and what we are, being intimate with and kissing is the informing wisdom of nature, with the root and the rhizome, with that aspect of us that's the growing thing. Now, you represent this disembodied awareness, this disembodied light that lacks all of that. Okay? So the disembodied light that lacks all of that, that's why it absolutely requires this intimacy and relatedness with Eros. Now, let's talk about you're with a group of people, so you're with the collective, and you're talking about really a very elemental, undifferentiated type of the source, which has not even entered nature yet, has not developed the what Hildegard and Bingen called the blessed greenness, is not there, or bouncing baby goats, or any kind of this aspect of living things coming into being. All it is, the mythic aspect here of the Thunderbolt project, of the electric universe, and how the entire universe is governed by electricity, which is energy. And what was the other thing it was governed by?
Electricity and magnetism.
Electricity and magnetism. So magnetism, of course, is polarity. This is the aspect where there is the opposites emerge that allow time to come into being, and this electricity is really the flow of energy from the polarity. And so it's a very elemental and very stark and very removed from eros aspect of wholeness, of relating to the world. There's no standpoint. There's no, it's basically all theoretical, and it certainly suits the disembodied awareness, because the disembodied awareness that has cut itself off from the feminine, cut itself off from nature, cut itself off from the earth and its standpoint, and growing, budding life, and the rhizome needs to have some type of deity, and its deity is the elemental energy of Brahman. That's where the word Brahman comes from, is similar to the word Om. It just comes from the word brr, brr. That's the sound of the universe, or it would be the sound of electricity going between the different polarities. So now we're talking about that. And do you know where the original, where you were originally talking about it, in the location? Or
I don't know. I can't really remember where I was.
Okay. But anyway, surprise, surprise, who shows up? The Anima. Now, do you know anything about her?
Not really. It was an older dream that I didn't really make detailed
It's just
notes on.
that's fine. It doesn't make any difference. Just thought if you could. So now she wants you to explain Christ. Okay. Again, a very a being who has far removed himself from the earth, from the feminine, he's an elemental energy too, representing light, light awareness, that aspect of our ego development, that it totally removes itself from the body, which is very close to the electronic universe. It's this aspect that has transcended nature, transcended the body, like the saint, but what does it lack? Anima relatedness. And this is what Peter Baines told Young. It lacks anima relatedness. And he says, you're correct, and it's this isolated absolutism, but what you're really talking about is not anima relatedness, but is nature relatedness, relatedness to the body, relatedness to the growing thing, relatedness to life. And so this would be the kind of awareness that would happen if, just light itself was aware and had no body, had no planet to live on, and was just out in the middle of black emptiness. This would be the myth that it would have, just out of nothingness came polarity, and between polarity flows energy, and it, all the universe is this way. And don't give me any other more differentiation than that. Okay. Well, that's interesting, but where did all these flowers come from? You know, where did this beautiful face of the woman with her, her breasts and her shapely hips and her very body that is unlike us, and her that she is made for our biology to unite with in a magical rite of this climactic event of the other side of spirituality, which is sexuality. The sexuality and spirituality are the opposites of the same coin. Okay. Now, what's the difference between them? The one is totally related to the body, totally related to life, and its bliss has a much different quality than the bliss of nirvana, or the one of the universe that's governed by electronic, or being one with Christ, or whatever it is. So the anima is very patient with us, yet we're walking through her realm. Okay. And where is she leading us? She's listening patiently to us blather on about all of this stuff that has nothing to do with our birth. Sounds very esoteric, very wonderful, but as Hermes would say, there's no redness in it. Where's the rubedo? Its strength is perfected when it returns to the earth. And this is somewhat what the Bodhisattva way is too. The Bodhisattva saying, no, I'm not leaving life in this way. So in this case, it's just this, the anima is so lovely here. She's nurturing. She doesn't judge. She actually is interested in what you have to say. And, and she's my mother used to do this. My mother had no idea. Talk about, electronic universe and Thunderbolt Project. That was all I was about when I was in my early puer years. But my mother would sit down with me. She was a farm girl from Iowa who, till she was like 18 or 19, would get one pair of shoes a year, which she could only wear to school. And during the summer and stuff, she just went barefoot, And and her father was, my grandfather was, a total subsistence farmer. Everything was done by barter and trade. In fact, he'd get the shoes by slaughtering a pig, and he had 6 daughters with my grandmother, or 5 daughters. Well, he had 6 between them, and they'd all have to go in the house when they slaughtered the pig because they didn't want her to see it. But anyway, she would say to me, Craig, tell me what is it that so fascinates you? And I would sit there. My father said I had these delusions of grandeur. I would sit there and tell her all these esoteric wonders that just had me, which would put me in bliss. But what kind of bliss? It's a bliss that's completely removed from the purpose of my birth. Young does not want, not young, but the source of the universe does not want us to become dewdrops in the cosmic sea. That's where we came from. I mean, that's dying before you're dead, you know. And this is what Nietzsche did, you know. Nietzsche was told, you know, that your soul will die before your body does, you know. So there was this aspect of Nietzsche where he's separated from the body, you know, and that aspect of him would die first. And it was an aspect of himself that he just totally ignored. And I think it actually probably helped lead to his, you know, his going a little bit cuckoo.
Mm-hmm.
And also what Jung said, it added a morbid quality to Thus Spake Zarathustra that he didn't really like. Jung didn't like it because, I mean, it essentially, now, let me tell you this too. Meanwhile, you know, I'm like you, I'm all interested in girls, but almost theoretically, you know. I mean, not in any kind of a way of, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a job and I'm going to have some money and I'm going to have a house. And then I'm going to tell this girl and say, do you want to see the house I built for our new family? You know, and I'm a provider for children, you know, and I'm going to set up this perimeter in which you can raise and nurture the children. This is what the woman wants, you know, amongst other things, you know, but she certainly doesn't want someone who is telling his mother all these blissful things that are so far removed from birth and from living reality. It's as if we were never born, you know. And you know, I would do this actually in meditation. You know, I would try to see with the eyes of the one who says, when will the kingdom of the Father come? The kingdom of the Father is spread upon the earth, but men do not see it. You know, it's here. Tattva masi, om mani padme hum, it's right here. Look and see it, change the focus of the eyes. And so the way I would do this is to imagine that I had never been born, and that the gods allowed a focal point of awareness to come in existence without ever being born, to view the universe from this standpoint, and not just the universe, but trees, flowers, children, small animals, growing life, you know, the Dionysian, this golden girl who comes out of the left-hand side of nothingness, jumps over a rock with these ram's horns, you know, which I have to paint that. I mean, I absolutely do. But okay, so anyway, the end of the dream is the spring side of this almost, you know, void of elemental energy. Well, yeah, okay, that's fine. It's wonderful, you know, but, you know, what does that have to do with your eyes and with holding another person's hand, or to putting your hand on their heart, or just holding your own hands together, you know, or doing anything that awakens within us the wonder of this 99.99% of us, that this awareness up here, the willful ego awareness, who goes off in thought, you know, goes to the realm of total thought. Now, what does that realm have to do with this gift, you know? And I think that this gift is the most important thing. It isn't this going off into the to the ether and realizing all these these absolutely mind-blowing aspects of the consciousness behind empty space, you know, uh, which is so stark and so, and it's, I really think it's representative is Christ. You know, Christ represents this disembodied aspect of ourselves. So isn't it this lovely, am I cutting out every once in a while?
No, you're right.
Okay. Well, I just see myself freeze. But anyway, so let's look at the other aspect. Anima walks along with us in her realm, and she wants to hear our crazy uh, theories, and she listens. It has nothing to do with her, but I want to understand. Just tell me. So, what is she really doing? She's not listening or trying to understand. What she is trying to do is bring forth your awareness into her realm. You're walking in her realm. You're talking to her. Okay. You're not up here writing equations on the blackboard, you know. And she takes you to a secluded place, the love grotto of Tristan and Isolde. And there is where life really resides. And this is the energy that is the secret of the universe. What do you think about that?
Well, it was definitely much different interpretation than I had of the dream. I thought that it's like, oh, well, if she wants me to explain these things to her and she wants me to follow her so that we can go find a place to kiss, then these things must be something that, you know, the things I'm explaining must be something that excite my anima and that it kind of points to the right path for what I should be doing, instead of that really she's actually trying to, you know, almost, I guess in a way, almost get me away from those things. She's saying, oh yeah, well, that's all nice, but what about, how about you just follow me and I'll, you know, I'll show you something, you know, much better.
The sexuality side, which now let's defame that word sexuality a little bit and try to take away this porn aspect or whatever it is. It is the other side of this, of the realm of spirituality. Those both are the wisdom of the universe. Okay. And which is the one that we lack and really is our true libido. And I really think it's the secret of the universe. The other one is to enter the place that you would enter if you had never been born, you know?
Yeah.
And to go back into the cosmic sea. Now, the cosmic sea is this electronic universe. It is the it's the Thunderbolt project, you know. But there's a different wisdom of the secret of the universe. That's where she's taking us, you know. Now, what does this have to do? It has to do with heart to heart, not head to head anymore. It has to do not with the upper chakras, which are, you know, divorced from life. It has to do with those chakras, the first four chakras that are totally part being a human being. And also the sexuality side, which is the the one of the bliss of union, which is, if you experience it, and you can somehow become one who develops all four functions, or starts to develop the functions that we're more unconscious of. You can experience it in all of its depth, with the sensation, with the feeling that the sensation aspect of it also has to do with the highest value, the feeling function, the one that is the most important. Is our highest value being with the anima in the love grotto, or is it contemplating the Thunderbolt Project and this energy that exists when nothing exists? Now, which is the highest value for us? What is the treasure hard to attain? Is it this going back and being and going into the realm of never having been born? Just to become what the sannyasis do this. The whole idea of a lot of the Asian traditions is to annihilate birth, to annihilate the cycle of rebirth, and to enter permanently the realm where nothing ever came into being, which is a wonderful place. Yet, what does that have to do with the actual mystery of the universe, which is the mother, the mother and her daughters, her beautiful daughters, with their beautiful faces and the promise of youth, and the aspect of woman that most attracts the active and male side is her life-bearing magic. And what is it represented by? When one of the most shocking things you can see is when a woman takes off her top, and you see her exposed, the nurturing of life. What does this have to do with this electronic universe and the thunderbolts? That's why I always told my wife, if she wants me to shut up, just take off her top, immediately shut up, because I'm so naive. I am moved by not the licentiousness of it, but the fact that it is a tangible, manifest symbol in the outer world that this being, who doesn't even understand it, possesses, of being alive, better than any other symbol. It represents that, because it represents not the living being, but what comes out of the living being. And also the fact that the hips are shaped so that the young thing can emerge from her, as the life bearer. So this is the other side of the universe. Now, don't we really think that the highest value and the treasure hard to attain is to have a relationship with this mystery of the universe, just so different from the Thunderbolt Project?
Right.
And how do we relate to this side? And this is the side of Keats and of the Minnesingers and of the eyes, of the eyes, really. The eyes are the scouts of the heart, and they go reconnoitering for an image that would please the heart, and then they try to unite with it. And now there is in this polarity and magnetism and electricity, but it is serving a different purpose than just, massive displays of lightning and loud sounds and air and something that doesn't possess any of the blessed greenness of the feminine and of the mother. It's totally involved in logos and the patriarchal world, which is all man has, all males have, and it's totally sterile. What about that has any thing in it about the promise of youth or the promise of growth, the promise of development? It really is just a place to go drown ego and obliterate it. It's actually is the flame in which the moth flies into the sixth and seventh chakra. In the sixth chakra, we see the Thunderbolt project, but it's covered with the glass. Okay. Then someone takes it. You want to unite with the Thunderbolt project? No problemo. And then they remove the glass and you fly into it and you never existed. Now let's go down into the heart chakra. What's the heart chakra about? And the first chakra of life coming into being. And these are the ones that are denigrated, and they're not the highest chakras. These are the lower chakras, but they're the most important for a living being. These ones up here make us this burnt string. It looks like a string, but blow on it. It was never here. It's all ashes, and it just goes away. There's nothing tangible about it. So, this dream, I think, more beautifully than, let's just, I'm going to describe it one more time because I think it is so beautiful. We are residing in our side of the universe, the highest value. Okay, and this is the secret of the universe that is possessed in the world of the pleroma, the world of total potentiality, but nothing has come out of it yet. It's and the first thing that comes out of it is undifferentiated polarity. And what connects the undifferentiated polarity that has no qualities whatsoever, and that is electricity and magnetism. We don't need any more. We've understood it. That's how life came into being. What else do you want to know? Anything else is digression. This is the secret of the universe. Okay, that's the one side. And the anima sees a very, very patiently and very motherly and very nurturing, sees us and doesn't tell us that we're crazy or nuts. She wants to go for a walk with us. Okay. And she wants us to talk about, well, what is the personified aspect of all of that? The Christ? Tell me about the Christ. So we're telling her about the personified aspect of the polarity and the electronic and magnetic energy that does not need living beings, does not need bodies, doesn't need plants, doesn't need flowers, doesn't need rootedness, doesn't need trees, doesn't need living beings, because it's totally removed from that realm. It's overcome it. Okay. Actually, it's just returned to the source. I mean, that this original place that it came from. And what about the miracle that emerged from that? Well, this is the world she represents. The 10,000 things, the multifarious, living, sap breathing, blood flowing realm of living beings. So here is the goddess of that world, of living beings, of life that came out of that. And she wants to go for a walk with us. And she doesn't give us any objections to our amazing. She's very patient with this person who's all wise and all informed about the this very elemental mystery. And yet, where are we going? We're going to the place of where life really begins. And that's this love grotto of Tristan and Isolde. And where our awareness and her far deeper, far more ancient, far more rooted entity, which really doesn't want to talk about that stuff, invites us to love and wants us to unite with her. Now, that's such a beautiful, there's a polarity for you. There's a magnetism. There's the flow between two, the positive ion and the negative ion, or whatever electricity is. There's electricity there too, but it has there's magnetism there. But now it has to do with that, that we possess a little bit of that rootedness in our awareness. And what does it lack? It doesn't lack, the Thunderbolt Project and the electricity. It lacks her and her mystery and her magic. And it really is mystery and magic, and it's something that is incomprehensible, something we have no understanding of. So isn't that a beautiful, I just think that's such a beautiful. Now, what if our myth, what if we decided, our myth is going to be the love grotto and her world, and we're going to serve her, the goddess of this realm that she's walking through us with us, and her the aspect of her that she listens very patiently to us blather on. Yet, where are we going? We're going where no words are needed, where all she says is just kiss me, look into my eyes, hold me, feel my back, feel my soft skin, look into my dancing eyes, and kiss my plush lips, and run your hand through my luxurious hair, and feel that aspect of my body is not your body. So that's the mystery of the universe. That's the myth that we need to unite with, because it's what we don't have.
Right.
It doesn't help us to, I really don't know. Now, see, this is a sickness that it's this ideal absolutism that totally lacks anima relatedness and totally lacks nature relatedness. And it's not something that you're the only one that suffers from it. I suffered from it as well. And I really didn't ever overcome that myself. So now I wasn't overcoming her. I was making the descent into the chthonic realms of rootedness. And that's how I cured it. And I don't say I've cured it, but at least I've adopted to that earthly realm better than I did before. My wife would beg to differ that I've made that much progress, you know, because she thinks I am, you know, we're still an ideal absolutist who avoids ordinary reality. But I mean, I think the ordinary reality I'm more avoiding now is just, you know, I'm not really interested in sitting around and planning, you know, I don't know, you know, I mean, just ordinary day-to-day things. I'm very removed. And I don't participate in her, well, you know, I always tell her when she's telling me about her woes and things. And one thing she doesn't like about me at all is every day is Christmas Eve, that I overlook pain and suffering, you know, completely. And she thinks that pain and suffering is what life is, and we need to face it. So, I mean, you talked earlier about the fact that you don't face it, you don't want to face it. What do you think it is that we in this dream we're being asked to face?
I don't know exactly by just this dream, but I would say, you know, there's another dream that I was going to bring up, but
Well, go ahead.
oh, okay. Well, I'll bring up this dream eventually, but I want to stick on the Anima dreams because
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't.
had this one
I've
just
got to
the
go
other night.
in a soon time, but
Okay.
let's do about 20 more minutes.
Okay. This one was pretty interesting. I had this just the other night. I had a lot of dreams. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I was running through a grass field on all fours, and there are some animals and trees and stuff around, and then I saw a very beautiful brown-haired girl, and I started talking to her. And at this point, I'm standing up talking to her. I'm not on all fours anymore. And we start walking together towards the town that I seem to have come from, or, you know, I came from that direction, but yet I've never seen it before. And we reach it, and the sight of it is completely awe-inspiring, and I drop to my knees. And there's these castles and churches that are so beautiful, and one of the spires of the castle reaches all the way into the sky, and totally overcome by the beauty of this city. And I meet an old woman there, and she asks if I'm in love with the girl, and I say yes, I am. And she tells me that I need to find something better to wear, and she's going to help me find something. She's going to help me get some clothes. And right at the beginning of the town that we reach, there's a church there, and my cousin is there, and he seems to be getting married or something. And that's all I remember.
Well, this is a wonderful dream. A wedding. God. Now, when did this happen?
This was a couple nights ago. Yeah, the December 26th. So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's December 26th, so that's just like 2 days ago. Now, this is one of the most, I would say, one of the, compare this to that dream we just listened to. You know? Now, you are participating, at least the awareness within us has entered the instinctive um, aspect of us, the deep instinctive aspect. Now we just dreamed about the Minotaur, you know, and now we are running on all fours. You know, so we have regressed to the more elemental aspect of our creatureliness. Now, there's nothing in here about the Thunderbolt Project or the mystery of the universe for being electricity and magnetism. The mystery of the universe is to return to our animal side. Now, what happens when we return to our animal side in this place of trees and what could you describe that place again? Trees and what?
There were trees and small animals and stuff. And
Trees
there were houses nearby. It seems like some
Yeah.
people lived around there too.
It was a very pastoral scene.
Yeah.
It was a pastoral scene of mixture of woods and humanity, you know, who live in harmony with nature, because there's fauna there, there's flora and fauna. It's not concrete and parking lots and electric wires. Okay, so when we start running on all fours there, what happens? The beautiful brown-haired girl appears. Now, what brought her here? It was that we were reuniting with our bodies, the animal side of ourselves, the primordial aspect of our being and our creatureliness, you know. And so suddenly she's absolutely luminously feminine. This beautiful brown-haired girl. I mean, I think you could probably describe what she looked like, but I'm just saying, you know, very graceful, you know, very feminine in her movements, with eyes that just melt your heart, you know. And now you're walking to supposedly the place of your birth, but it's not the physical place of our origin. It's the mythological place of our origin, because it's unknown to ego consciousness. And yet, the dream is saying, this is where you came from. This is our mythological home. And it is our place of our birth. And it is a realm of many mansions, many energies here that are very refined, that collective unconscious has evolved through unending time, millions of years. You know, these great castles and great sacred buildings have come into existence. Now, who's leading us to the place, our real birthplace? It is the bridge to the self, the Anima. And what beckoned her to come was us participating in the animal side of ourselves. And there comes the Great Mother. Okay. And the Great Mother asks us, sees us with this beautiful creature. And she says, are you interested in this magical being, this magical, transformational anima, which is really is your destiny since you were born? Not only is this where you came from, but here she is the goal. She's the destiny. Okay. And now, this is so beautiful to me, is feminine wisdom. Does it argue with us? Does it try to outline points to consider and ponder? It just listens patiently and doesn't say very much. And it usually asks questions, okay? And they're leading questions, gentle leading questions, you know. And the gentle leading question is, are you interested in this beautiful being here who really is your destiny? And she's the one you were born for. Are you interested in her? Well, yes, we are interested in her. Well, you running on all fours, you need to adapt a little bit first. We need to give you the proper persona aspects to be worthy of this ethereal, magical, living, breathing, buxom, beautiful, lipped creature with the eyes that melt your heart. We need to have the proper adaptation to be worthy of her. We can't come to her as either an animal or a disembodied devotee of the Thunderbolt Project. Who's telling us this too? It is the mother of all life. She's the one we're all like. That's Isis talking to us. You know, I don't know if I sent you that little thing about Isis and telling about who she is, you know. And then after this, let's list the aspects of it. First, for the first time, possibly in our, maybe not the first time, but at least the first I've heard of it, we're running on all fours. We've, the dream maker is trying to show us, Charles, this is what the instinctive life is like. You need to return to the primordial origins of body. You know, that's the only way you're going to cure the fascination with the Thunderbolt Project. You need to get your hands on the earth. Your hands need to be touching the earth, not just your feet. All four, your 2 feet and both of your hands need to be pressed into the rooted earth. That's what you lack and what you is your destiny, and is the only way that you are going to unite with what you were born for. Bend over and put your hands in the earth. You know, I don't think it would hurt if there's a warm day someday to go out into where there's no snow and to try to do this and feel what it's like to have your hands touching the earth like that, you know, and just feel what it's like. And also that your feet, maybe take your shoes off and do it, and have all 4 of your uncovered limbs touching there, okay? Because then the Anima comes, the beautiful brown-haired Anima comes, and she has now taken an interest in us. And the Great Mother wants to know if we've taken an interest in her, and who wouldn't, you know? I mean, this is what, she's the creature that we were born for, not the Thunderbolt Project. She's the one we were born for. Okay, and she's kind of leading us to our real mythological home, you know, our real homeland, okay? And it is full of the most magical archetypal mansions everywhere. There's no end to the fascination of this place we came from. And it's not elemental. There's nothing about it that does not possess art and music and dance and every libidinal art form, song, choral, the prose and poetry. That's what those many mansions represent, you know. And then the old mother comes. She has come now after she secretly arranged the brown-haired girl to show up when you actually put your hands on the earth. She comes up and she asks the gentle leading question, "Are you interested in her, Charles Austin? Would you like to be her friend? Would you like to go to the love grotto with her and experience the bliss of, of, of the most intimate relation that you could possibly have with her and see her unveiled and experience her beauty and her beauty not with in her total uncovered beauty? Would you like to do that?" "Yes, I would like to do that." "Well, you need to adapt a little bit and I'll help you do that." So then while she's telling us this, another image comes into being of a sacred wedding, of the Hieros Gamos, of the uniting of this male consciousness with nature and with life, which is what the anima represents, you know. So it is the Thunderbolt project marrying the brown-eyed girl, you know, and really giving up its foolishness and realizing that is not what we were born for. Look at the beauty of this place, this unknown place that we came from. It's all manifestation. There's nothing elemental about it. It's all images. This is what the unconscious is, the realm of images. So what is it about the brown-eyed girl that makes us swoon, you know, with her beauty? And it is her form, it is her eyes, it is her way of moving, it is her voice, it is her breath, it is the way she smells, you know, and the way that her feet move upon the earth, and her quick, flirtatious glances, and her facial expressions that invite us to love, you know. Now that is what the bridge to the other world is, okay? And that's the thing that we should most value. And it's a treasure hard to attain. You know, you talk about the feeling function. What is the feeling function? It is the function of value. What is the highest value? And what could have higher value than her? How do we accomplish this? The Great Mother will help us. We need some adaptation. We need to add a little bit of persona to ourselves. Well, what do you mean by a little bit of persona? Well, how about if we put you in a lawyer's suit, or an accountant's suit, or a technician's suit, you know, any kind of a suit that is going to show adaptation to being her consort. being the father of her children. You know, you just need a few. You like her? Yeah, I like her. Well, you need a few things, you know. Why don't you go get them? I'll help you. So, just a second here. Yes.
Hey, I have John Roeder on the line for you.
Well, tell him I'll call him back.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, anyway, what do you think of that dream?
I mean, it's a pretty incredible dream, and I think the idea of finding, I knew that when she told me, you got to find some better clothes, I'll help you out with that. I knew that was going to be a big key to the dream, and yeah, I think
Better outer attitude.
right, persona, earthly kind of garments,
Yeah, this official role in the outer world.
Yeah,
You need a better outer attitude.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, anyway, it is absolutely beautiful dream. Both of these dreams, they actually are wonderful complements to each other. Because this first dream is the second dream. But the second dream has been added to it the artistry of the poet has put in a few details that were lacking in the first dream.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much the same dream.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Well, anyway, I'll upload this to YouTube, and if you want to watch it again.
Okay. Yeah.
And only you will be able to see it. But I do have to get back to my day job. But if you want to discuss these tonight too, if you're here, or Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be here tonight.
Okay, great. All right, Charles. And by the way, you look great.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you do. Nice haircut.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see you later, Charles.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good one.